12 million in your face, Loveroms. Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. I love getting a rise out of you guys, you know? Getting back to this Loveroms situation. You know, one of the purpose of my video is to make you think from a different point of view. So, they settled for 12 million. 12, right? So if you guys thought that they were just spreading love with ROMs and not making any money, you're wrong. Nintendo just gave you 12 million reasons in your face why you shouldn't distribute their software without licensing. Well guys, you know, the reason, okay, I made the video and the reason I support Nintendo and the big companies sometimes, not all the time, but most of the times, is because I want them to be strong. I want them to be around for such a long time, you know, for a really long time. I think that the marketplace games are better if Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony are, you know, healthy companies, right? And they're making profit. And the reason is we have a lot to lose, right? Going back to the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast, you know, died partially because, you know, it was being hacked and you know, people weren't buying games. It wasn't being supported. It was just being destroyed by the PS2. And it would have survived if people weren't able to burn games and play them, right? If people were actually paying for games. But once that happened, I mean, it was over. You know, it was over. And is the marketplace better without Sega? You know, don't you wish we still had Sega to kick around? I mean, I tell you, I do. You know, seeing them as only a software company is hard, you know, and that's really where everything's going, right? Everything's going to be on the cloud eventually. But for right now, you know, I want to keep these companies around and healthy. Now, am I completely against emulation? No, I mean, if there's some games out there that nobody's claiming, nobody's using, you know, and nobody's supporting it, yeah. But you guys need to be honest with yourselves, man. I mean, when people are downloading ROMs, they download the entire collection, whether they own the game or not. Right? Now, these people that are gonna ever buy the games, maybe not. Who knows, right? The problem is in the way the system is set up, right? Emulation has done some great things, as you guys pointed out in my last video, as far as bettering the graphics, as far as restoration of some games and preserving them, right? Some games are just expensive. You know, it's not they're going to be lost, it's just nobody can afford it, right? But long term, these companies are going to put this stuff out on the internet if there's a market for it. I think that the problem eventually is going to be something similar to the recording industry, where these programmers, man, they have to be compensated somehow, right? They agreed to work on a game for a particular system. Now, when they take this game and put it somewhere else, that revenue, their creativity should go with that, right? These guys need to be compensated, you know, at a fair price. You know, I'm not saying gouge them, but I mean, if I had to pay what I pay, for example, for Spotify, for having the access to a complete main library, I would happily do it, man. I mean, I really would, if it would support, you know, programmers and you know, people coming up in business. They're putting up their games out there. I mean, I would happily do it, and I think most of you up there would too. You know, I mean, I feel bad for this couple that own the company. I really do, because it's 12 million bucks, but they had it. You know, that's the other thing. I mean, you guys, you know, thought that this was some sort of charity going on here. No, they were making money, man. I mean, if you got 12 million bucks to pay, it's coming out of somewhere, right? It's coming out of someone. And for years and years, these companies have been making money on other people's work. Now, when what this sets as a precedent, right? for other companies, because Sega's going to go, wait a minute, you know, what are we missing out? Sony's going to do the same thing. You know, Atlas, you know, you name it. Everybody's going to try to do the same thing, because this is a slam dunk for Nintendo. I mean, it wasn't even close as far as, you know, a court case. I mean, they settled out of court quick. That tells you how unwinnable the case was for the defendants, and it really isn't. You know, if they would have been in another country, it would have been a lot harder. But I think, at least my hope is, that this incentivizes Nintendo and other companies to make these titles available. Given the culture of Nintendo, they're not going to do it, right? And it's just the way Nintendo is. Nintendo is slowly but surely, you know, slowly they will either have a great success or have a great failure. When they try to rush things, the Virtual Boy happens, right? when they don't think things through all the way, you get the Wii U, right? Now those, you know, are a couple of mistakes by Nintendo, but other companies have made mistakes. You know, it's cost them, right? And the end game here, I think, for all of us, is we're going to be in our laptops or our portable devices somewhere, you know, playing games off the cloud, which is something I can't even fathom, or I wouldn't even choose to do. I think I'm always going to be a console gamer. Now, to all of you out there that have been, you know, doing emulation and you know, downloading your packs, I mean, I suggest that you do it now while you still can. I mean, it's not that it's impossible, but it's never going to be the same way it was before. I mean, this here is a game changer. But I hope that with this, we start turning to a fairer system to where we have access to the games, and, you know, hopefully these companies and developers are seeing that there's still a demand for old school games, that we need to have access to them. And, you know, if somebody doesn't own them, or they're just in limbo, somebody needs to buy them, right? Somebody needs to get those licenses and make them available to us. I mean, there's a great opportunity now with, you know, the Xbox, you know, with Sony, with Nintendo and their online services, right? I mean, can you imagine if Xbox all of a sudden said, you know, screw it, we're gonna buy all these backlog titles and we're gonna make them available on our pass, right? I don't think Sony would ever do that, because Sony is just super money hungry and they don't have the incentive, right? But Xbox has already done it. Nintendo's new service is not the best, right? It's great for me because I don't care about online play. I really don't. I'm not skilled enough to play with other players, right? Not yet. So it doesn't affect me that much. But if they had a more robust library, right, with all these games, even if they have like the old eShop they used to have, where you can buy, you know, a la carte, whatever you want to put on your games, I think that'd be great. And I think that's coming down the line, but it's going to be a lot slower, and I mean way slower than anybody who's in the main community would like it to be. So my best advice to you is download as much as you can now, because it's going to get ugly before it gets any better. I could see more lawsuits coming out for all these companies, because once they smell blood, man, once lawyers smell blood, once lawyers smell money, you know they're coming. They're just coming from everywhere. So let's see what happens. All right, guys, keep up the good fight. I don't mind, you know, the disagreements. I don't mind the comments. I really don't. You know, if I give you any different point of view, right? If I give you something to think about, that's well worth the conversations. Your insults or your your trolling doesn't bother me. So, you know, bring it on. And I hope to see you on the next one, and we keep on having great conversations about the gaming industry, because that's what it's all about, man. I think the one thing you and I have in common is that we want to play games for a long time, and we want the companies to succeed, and we want more games to come out in the long term. All right, guys, that's the video for today. don't be afraid to be happy, even if you have to disagree with me. I'm cool with that. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.